Hey everyone, welcome to Dad Bake. I'm a dad and I bake. So today we'll be making Hokkaido Japanese milk bread, which I guess I don't have to say Japanese because Hokkaido is in Japan. Anyways, I'm gonna be using a KitchenAid to help knead the dough because it's a lot easier and I'm inherently lazy. So we're gonna start off by putting all of our dry ingredients into our mixing bowl. So we have 300 grams of red flour, 50 grams of sugar, 15 grams of dry milk powder, 6 grams of salt, 7 grams of yeast, and we're gonna give it a stir. I forgot the paddle. So we're gonna get these dried ingredients mixed up, right? Then I am going to put the bowl into the KitchenAid. So for this, we're gonna be using the dough hook here on the KitchenAid. I got my dry ingredients in here. I'm going to slowly start adding the wet ingredients as I mix it together. So first thing we're going to do is add our flour water mixture, which is 20 grams flour, 120 milliliters water. There's a name for it. I forgot what it's called. And I'm just gonna stick it on a half speed while it mixes slowly together. So I'm gonna put it on half speed while this all mixes together. And I'm slowly gonna incorporate all the wet ingredients. So next we have 120 milliliters of lukewarm milk. And I'm gonna pick it up to a 1 speed on the KitchenAid. Next, I'm gonna add 80 milliliters of heavy whipping cream. And finally, 1 large egg at room temp. And then we're gonna put it up to a 3 and let this knead. Now that I got the wet ingredients in there, I'm going to let all the dry ingredients get incorporated. Now that the dough has started to form, we're gonna throw in 30 grams. We're gonna throw in 30 grams of softened butter. And we're gonna let that knead in for 10 to 15 minutes. So at this point, you can see that our dough isn't stretchy and elasticy, it's still kind of gooey. So what we're gonna do going forward is we're going to add a teaspoon at a time of flour and let it continue to knead until we get that elastic, bouncy, fluffy texture with the dough. All right, so you want to test our dough. See how it's bouncy, elasticy, but it doesn't stick to your fingers. That's how you know it's done. So we're gonna take this, cover it. I use a cloth, and we're gonna set it aside to proof for 1.5 to 2 hours, or until it's doubled in size. Now that it's gotten to double the size, poke it, see how it should be fluffy, kind of marshmallowy. Kind of what we're gonna be looking for. Now we know that it's been proofed. Now that we have them in equal balls, we're gonna cover them and let proof for another hour. Now that our buns have proofed for another hour, we put them in the oven at 360 for 15 minutes and let them bake. There they are. That's the tester. I based it in a warm honey water solution to give it a shine. Helps bring it out a little bit more. Now, in order to make the tea cream filling that's gonna go inside of our delicious buns, you're gonna take a cup of heavy whipping cream infused with your tea of choice. I used Jasmine. Put that in there. And then we are going to use 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. Switch hands. And throw that in there. And then we're gonna just bring that up. And then we're just slowly going to increase the speed, right? We don't wanna go too fast right off the bat. We don't want it to fling the powder. So we'll start getting that incorporated. And just slowly keep raising the speed until you get stiff peaks. Once you get it to this thick, fluffy, whipped cream-like texture, right? Where it's solid and it stands on its own, that doesn't rust down, then you know your cream is done. Now that our buns cooled off and we have our icing in the piping bag, we are gonna stick that in there. Move it around, get it all in the center, right? Stick it there, and we're done. And that's it. Now that we've got our buns made, icing in, time for the finale. Oh, yes. Tea cream and milk bread. Can't beat it.